We begin this hour with the latest on the race for a vaccine for COVID-19 and a bump in the road for a major clinical trial that Ottawa hopes will eventually provide tens of millions of doses for Canadians. Johnson & Johnson has had to put its crucial late-stage testing in humans on hold, at least for now. Laura McQuillan leads off this hour. She has all the details. Laura, good morning.
Good morning, Heather. The company's not saying what kind of an unexplained illness this trial participant has. They're citing privacy as to why they can't do that, but they did issue a statement last night. They wanted to assuage people that phase 3 trials are meant to catch any kind of side effects such as this, as well as proving that the vaccine works. So take a look at what Johnson & Johnson is saying in this statement. They say that serious adverse events are not uncommon in clinical trials, and the number of them can reasonably be expected to increase in trials involving large numbers of participants, of which there are set to be 60,000 in this trial. They go on to say that further, as many trials are placebo-controlled, it's not always immediately apparent whether a participant received a study treatment or a placebo. Important point here, they're not saying at this point whether this volunteer in the trial had their vaccine or if they had a placebo, so they don't know that bit as yet. Hitting pause for now, and it's unclear how long that will be for, but Johnson & Johnson says this is all going to be looked at by an independent review board. It monitors the data, the safety of all of this, as well as internal clinicians who'll be taking a close look at what's gone on, what kind of illness this is, and how that might relate to the vaccine in any way. Worth noting as well that this is one of 10 vaccines already in phase 3. Johnson & Johnson only began its phase 3 trial last month, and it is a little bit behind some of those other drug makers, but this is a big trial. They were on track to get this out the door end of this year or early next year, Heather, so we have to wait and see what this kind of disruption might mean with them now putting it on pause.
And with that independent review, Laura, underway, which is exactly how it was handled in another company's late-stage trial.
That's right, AstraZeneca. We were telling you about this last month. That trial, also known as the Oxford University trial, it's actually been paused twice because 2 participants have fallen ill in July and September. And that first instance, it was found that that participant didn't have an illness related to the vaccine. The second isn't entirely clear at this point, but it has been able to resume that trial everywhere that it was carrying it out, except for the US, where some more approvals are needed. Now, a lot of people will be wondering, okay, what does this mean for a vaccine? Is it going to be safe? And that's a point that infectious disease experts are speaking a lot about in the past 12 or so hours since this news came out. They are pointing out that this is what the phase 3 trial is meant to do. It's meant to find any issues before the vaccine gets to market. And when we spoke to infectious disease specialist Dr. Isaac Bogosh just a short time ago, he said he'll be watching closely to find out more answers on that front, but that this is an important backstop. Take a listen.
This is basically standard process for a clinical trial. If someone gets sick for any reason whatsoever, vaccine or non-vaccine related, they're going to push pause and they're going to investigate to make sure that it truly isn't vaccine related. We'll hear more about what this is hopefully in the days to come, and we'll have a better understanding of whether or not it's related to the vaccine or not.
So we'll be watching for any updates, of course, Heather, but the message from specialists like Dr. Bogosh is the system is working by having this pause in place. So just keep tuned for whatever else might come out about that illness and whether it does link back to the vaccine.
Laura, thank you very much. Laura McQuillan.